Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1495.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to ask, should you buy a car before tariffs? Now, there's a lot of data and things that go into answering this question. So what I'm going to do is refer to an article on Kiplinger's who researched this and share this with you. The article was written by Jim Patterson. And it says, few industries are more exposed to the new tariffs being imposed by the Trump administration than the car industry. And for car shoppers, that vulnerability spells higher prices and leaner inventories of cars on dealer lots. To understand the impact of tariffs on car manufacturing, it's important to realize that there's no such thing as a truly American car. Ford, GM, and the U.S. brands under the Stellantis umbrella, such as Jeep, Ram, and Dodge, assemble many but not all of their vehicles in U.S. plants. GM, for instance, imports many of its popular Silverado pickup trucks from Mexico, and even cars assembled in, say, Michigan are full of parts and materials that originated outside of the U.S. Likewise, many Asian and European brands assemble vehicles in the U.S., particularly in plants located in the South, but again, they rely on a complicated mix of domestic and imported parts and materials. Some automotive parts cross a border multiple times before ending up in a fully assembled car that's ready to hit a dealer's showroom. President Trump's new 25% tariffs on auto imports, including imported parts that don't comply with the rules of the U.S.-Canada-Mexico Trade Pact he negotiated in his first term, are already starting to raise prices on cars for sale on lots now, according to anecdotal accounts. Other tariffs, such as those on imported steel and aluminum, two key car-making materials, are bound to push up manufacturers' costs too. Trump announced the auto tariffs in late March, calling them permanent. On Monday, though, he said he was considering pausing some tariffs on car companies to give them a little bit more time to adjust. Estimates of how much more cars will cost vary, but the consensus among forecasters is that the impact will be painful. The staff of the Kiplinger letter estimates the new car prices will rise by $5,000 to $10,000 in the case of foreign brands and $3,000 for domestic vehicles. In an analysis of the car-specific tariffs last month, Edmunds.com head of Insight's Jessica Caldwell noted that it's reasonable to expect that vehicle prices will rise, which presents an added challenge to an industry that is already grappling with ongoing affordability concerns. Edmunds' data shows that the average transaction price of a new vehicle in February was already $47,373 before any tariffs began. Vehicle availability also figures to worsen as some key components or materials that used to be imported become prohibitively expensive, and manufacturers struggle to line up domestically sourced replacements. One source at a major automotive supplier tells the letter that identifying and testing vehicle parts from a new supplier can be a months-long process. And, as we witnessed recently with the semiconductor shortage, lacking even one or two components can slow or idle assembly lines, leading to shortages of new cars for sale. Price hikes and less inventory may push would-be buyers to look at the used market instead of buying a new car. That in turn spells higher prices and more competition there too. Because of the supply chain problems that hampered production of new cars a few years ago, fewer vehicles were leased at the time, and so fewer lightly used, high-quality leased vehicles will be entering the used market now, just as more shoppers will be jockeying for them. Even if you aren't planning to buy a car, new or used, what happens on dealer lots is likely to affect you in other ways. For instance, the new tariffs on imported parts are going to push up repair and maintenance costs for all drivers, on everything from bodywork to routine brake jobs. Car insurance premiums, which are already way up since the pandemic, figure to rise more too as repairing cars gets more expensive. And even if you don't own a car, but rent one when you travel, you can expect higher rental rates and fewer options at rental agencies. The bottom line? If you're in the market for a car, already own one, or ever plan to rent one, you're going to pay for the new automotive tariffs one way or another. But before you rush to the dealer before tariffs reverberate, keep in mind it's always best to buy a car because you need it, not because you're afraid the car you want to buy would be too expensive in the future or unavailable altogether. Even before the new tariffs, prices were already high and inventories were limited, so it paid to be flexible about what to buy and what features you really prioritize. That will be even more true now as the auto tariffs affect the market. Don't let fear pressure you into buying. Focus on your personal situation, whether you need a new car, and what you really need from that car. End of article. Yeah, I think there's a lot of wisdom there, and it pretty much says it all. You don't want to buy out of fear, but you do want to consider that cars may be more expensive in the future, and if you were planning to buy one anyway, perhaps now would be the time to do that. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more wealth tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.